Hi, welcome to my channel. So let's start. In this video I cannot use any related picture or image because of copyright. Now's not the best time to appreciate Ponniyin Selvan. Part 2, the back half of a highly anticipated Tamil language adaptation of Kalki Krishnamurti's revered multi-volume historical drama. The indeterminate future's probably the moment for this sequel, by which time S.S. Rajamouli's influence might not seem as important to contemporary Indian pop cinema, and Indian movie lovers can't maybe see with clearer eyes the many imitators of Bahubali, Rajamouli's trend-setting two-part mythopoetic fantasy. Adapting Ponniyin Selvan has been a dream project for a few Indian filmmakers, including writer-director Mani Ratnam, who's best known to American cinephiles for helming the epical 1998 Bollywood romantic drama, Dil Se. Ratnam has also admitted that his two-part version of Ponniyin Selvan could not have been made without the inspiration and success of Bahubali. It's easy to see why, based on Ponniyin Selvan Part 2, a sequel that, like Rajamouli's Bahubali, the conclusion often feels like an involved but satisfying de-escalation of the first movie's dramatic tension. You can't enjoy Ponniyin Selvan Part 2 without having already seen Ponniyin Selvan Part 1, not unless you've read Krishnamurti's books. Some good news, which is also bad news. Many viewers have probably already read Krishnamurti's popular epic, which was originally serialized in Kalki magazine throughout the early 1950s. Anyone who hasn't read the book, but still wants to see Ponniyin Selvan Part 2 on a big screen should know that Part 1 was more about the itinerant Vanar prince Valavarayan Vandiyadevan Karthi than the beloved title character Jayan Ravi, a nickname for the 10th century Chola dynasty Prince Arunmoji, or his hothead older brother Aditha Vikram. Arunmoji and Aditha necessarily take more central roles in Ponniyin Selvan Part 2, and so do the other main subjects of Ponniyin Selvan Part 1, like the prince's troubled and presumed wicked stepmother Nandini, Aishwarya Rai Bachchan, and their treacherous rival Madhuranthakan Raman. Everybody suspects Nandini of scheming to betray her husband, and also murder Aditha, who also suspects and has romantic tension with Nandini. There's more Nandini in Ponniyin Selvan Part 2, and a lot more supporting characters who either support or defy her, like the Chola chieftains who not so secretly back Madhuranthakan, or the Chola prince's many advisors, like their sister Kundavai, Trisha Krishnan, and, oh yeah, Valavarayan Vandiyadevan. Valavarayan, an itinerant fabulist, zips around Ponniyin Selvan Part 1 without a formal invitation. He negotiates FaceTime with various high-powered characters using token favors, a sword, a signet ring, and handwritten messages, and effectively unites the many threads of Krishnamurti's sprawling narrative. In Part 1, Valavarayan embodies the Byzantine, freely associated storytelling traditions that clearly inspired both Ratnam and his two Tamil-speaking co-writers. What arguably puts Ponniyin Selvan Part 2 inches over the top, as an overburdened sequel to a long-gestating adaptation, is Ratnam's characteristic visual acuity, his co-writer's careful attention to detail, and his megawatt ensemble cast's performances. Nandini, in particular, seems more like an emotionally complex character in Ponniyin Selvan Part 2 than she did in the last movie. And both Arunmoji and Aditha smolder more often, though only Vikram gets to show off with equally angsty dialogue like, happiness and peace elude those who hate themselves. All of the low-key craftsmanship that went into the otherwise high-toned Ponniyin Selvan Part 1 is still present in Ponniyin Selvan Part 2, which was shot concurrently with the last installment over 150 days from 2019 through 2021, and then split into Allah, Bahubali. Ratnam's characters have less time indulge in romantic sighing and unrequited romance, though he does make the most of those scenes. I won't spoil your enjoyment by telling who gazes longingly at whom, since being led around by the nose is a good part of the fun in both Ponniyin Selvan movies. That also makes judging Ponniyin Selvan Part 2 a little difficult right now, since it, like Ponniyin Selvan Part 1, will likely appreciate with time. There's probably nothing in this sequel that could not have also been done by the makers of the many other recent Bahubali-inspired mytho-historic epics, so there's not much that essentially distinguishes Ponniyin Selvan Part 2 as a Mani Ratnam film, as an opening credit says. Then again, it's a relief to see that Ponniyin Selvan Part 2 looks and moves as well as it does, even if one suspects that it will also hold up when it inevitably surfaces on streaming services like Prime Video, where you can still catch up with Ponniyin Selvan, Part 1. Ratnam and his collaborators stick the landing on their gargantuan potboiler, and while Krishnamurti's world may not look as grand as it seemed, either in the movie makers' heads or on the page, it is big enough to get lost in.